Go.
Let's go. It's me.
Go.
Not
Go,
Ashley.
go.
He's away again. It's not Steph either.
It's fucking Connor.
Hello.
Oh,
Here I am. What's the buttons?
it's really
Guest
warm
star.
and sweaty.
Fucking hot.
It's really warm and sweaty. Ahmet, if you're listening to this, hello.
Hello, mate.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
That was bizarre, but yeah.
We have a
Special request.
yeah. I mean, it's more or less. It's just someone else has done the legwork for us.
Big
on
Daddy
fucking-
Sam Parks.
on conversation. One of the patrons has give us a little list that they would like to hear us talk about. So we're going to go through the list. Considering, like he said, it's halfway through the year. So
Which is mental.
what have we got? We got best soundtrack, best DLC, best hidden gem, best lead character, best antagonist, best performance / quality, best gameplay / combat, biggest letdown, and then most anticipated for the second half of 2024.
What are you saying then?
Well,
I know you're going to say best DLC is going to be Shadow of the Erdtree, because that's probably the biggest DLC that's been released
yeah.
this year.
Well, okay, so I would say best soundtrack and best DLC will be Shadow of the Erdtree, because the soundtrack that goes along with the boss fights in Elden Ring are just incredible, and the DLC.
There's nothing quite like a Souls game or Bloodborne soundtrack when it comes to fighting bosses.
It's just so, and but also the soundtrack from when you're fighting Radahn consort. It's just so. I love it so much, but at the same time, I fucking hate it.
You must hate it.
The amount of times I heard that
so many
fucking soundtrack
from the top.
But it's just, it's so good. The effort that they go in with their soundtrack. I would say the same with The Last of Us.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very, very good soundtrack. Games like Hi-Fi Rush and
it's difficult to say sometimes because you can't. Like, I often don't think about the soundtrack sometimes. I know it is very important. I think we've spoke about it before, and you and Steph have spoke about it before, that sometimes I don't even think about it till afterwards.
Well,
like, you're in it and you're like, you know you're feeling it, but you don't think about it till afterwards.
Well, me and Steph did a whole episode talking about soundtracks because, like you just said, I think they are so underlooked because when a soundtrack is spot on, the beauty and the curse of it being so good is that you do not notice it.
Yeah, you're too far in the moment.
When a soundtrack is so good, it becomes part of that moment, and therefore you forget about the soundtrack.
When you come back to it, it's on a video on a TikTok or an Instagram reel, and you're like, oh, it's from that, is it?
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, let me just throw on the soundtrack.
Because you think, like, if you had something like Lord of the Rings and you took the fucking soundtrack out of that, like, you've taken away half of the magic.
Pretty much.
And it's the same with a lot of games.
when we jumped in the van and all of a sudden the Shire is playing on your Bluetooth.
You just love it.
What's going on there?
It's we need to do that at some point though. We need to do that fucking
sit down for the extended edition.
Yeah, 100%. It's just trying to decipher a good soundtrack to a bad soundtrack. I just find it so difficult. It's tough.
I feel like everyone puts effort into soundtracks. It's the element of picking what the best soundtrack is of this year, when, this list isn't the best for me because I haven't really played a lot of games that have come out this year, to be honest, and I can't think of anything that's necessarily come out this year that I'm specifically would say about soundtracks, for me at least. Apart from, you've listed off good and gone, Elden Ring, Erdtree.
Well, I mean, like you said, before we hit record, I mean, if you wanted to just make it easy, you can go to The Last of Us Part 2 Remastered.
Yeah, true.
Because that come out fucking in, January. So that technically counts as fucking this year.
That's good enough. Ridiculous remaster. Yeah, the game that just came out. Yeah, great.
We were flicking through the PlayStation store the other day, me and Steph trying to find just looking at the deals and shit. And Part 2 Remastered was on there. And Steph was like, they remastered that
already.
And I was like, I said, fuck knows what they did. When you do the side,
45 quid still.
I think it was a tenner because I got a PS5 and I already have the game and blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
I'm still not paying that to fucking play it again. It's ridiculous. So Elden Ring DLC wins that one. for me anyway. And then what we got? We got
Well, best game so far this year.
oh shit, yeah, we fucking skipped
Skip
two.
that one. It's because he had a big best console paragraph.
Yeah,
Best
apologies.
console so far.
So we got best game.
Best game of this year so far. Well, that's, again, depends. Is that the best game this year? Which I don't feel like there's been so many drops thus far that have
Best
been.
game this year. I have a list here of all the games that did release. I've already flicked through it, but I just want to flick through it again to see if there's anything that sparked.
I don't even remember what's dropped so far this year.
Quite a lot, to be fair, but it's
Like brand new, not like you go
I
turn
suppose
around and go Elden Rings.
Dragon's Dogma 2 was a big one.
Biggest letdown.
Grand Blue Fantasy Relink, that was very good. Suicide Squad, again, come out. Helldivers 2.
Yeah, but I very much enjoyed Helldivers 2, but then it dropped off. And then
yeah.
it's got the resurgence again.
Yeah, but does that diminish it from being
I'd
the
say,
best game?
yeah. But then is it the best game for you, or is it the best game of this year? Because it's definitely not going to be the best game of this year, but
No.
of the games that I've played this year that came out this year, it's probably one of the ones that I've enjoyed the most thus far.
I would.
Get his fucking cables off me.
Aren't you playing the Formaturge?
Yes.
Yes, so that come out fucking March.
Yes, but that's coming up later.
Oh, sorry. I do apologise. The Outlast Trials and all. Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. So that's such a subjective
Again,
question.
It's criteria.
What's your best game?
Is it going to be your best single player game of this year? And I would probably say that my best single player game of current year so far is probably the Thaumaturge, as I'm playing it now. I haven't put too much time into it because I'm doing other bits and pieces, but at the same time, that would probably be my best single player game so far.
Yeah.
But then in terms of co-op experience, I would definitely say Helldivers 2 has been my favourite game for cooperative play this year. But the only problem with that is it's like heavy grind.
See, now I'll throw a spin on it of. Oh, fucking hell.
What's the game of the year expectation for 2024?
Well, when did Enshrouded come out in early access and all? Was that this year?
Was that was Feb, wasn't it? January, Feb time?
Somewhere around there.
Somewhere around then. But I don't. Again, that was another co-op experience game. But I wouldn't have said.
Yeah, but see, this is where it's going to get interesting because
the waters are going to be very muddy this year for games.
I'm getting old. Getting old and crusty. I'm 27. Getting old. And
You haven't got greys yet, you're all right.
I feel like where I'm still able to sink in a lot of time into gaming, an addiction, if you will, and very grateful for the ability to be able to do that. Very much fucking helps where Steph is like a massive gamer. Said to her before, arguably she's probably more of a gamer than I am in terms of games played and interest, because she absorbs a lot of information like a fucking sponge, whereas I don't. Character names and things like that, I'm very difficult.
I complete. I'm done.
Yeah. Whereas Steph, but that's just how we're different gamers.
But Steph can't finish a game, so
no. But I can't finish a game either. Really tough. It depends on the game.
True. Yeah.
And
understandable.
It's when I was younger, you were able to play any sort of game you wanted. You had all the time in the world. It wasn't an issue. And gaming was also a lot cheaper. Whereas now, but
at the same time,
but you think you've got a house. I'm very, very nearly finished buying my house. Mark's in the same position as me. Fucking Ash has got his own place. Daryl's got his own place, and like people have their own families and shit, and we're busy with work. So when it comes to gaming, you almost have to start cherry picking what you're jumping into because your time is very limited.
I'd say there's a difference because when you're a kid and like you're asking mum or dad or whoever to get you a game, is that you feel like you need to commit to that. Yeah. Because if you pick up, like, that's someone else's money, versus now we're adults and we have adult money to buy
buy
adult things.
But the point that I'm trying to make is that when I was younger, gaming was
you could just do it all night, and then
but it was very exciting because you played with a shitload of people, all your friends. It was an absolute laugh, blah blah blah, best time of your life. And then you grow older, and then those moments start to slowly slip away because everyone's just getting on with their life, and that they happen less frequently. So I would probably say that the likes of Outlast Trials is probably the best game that I have played this year, for the pure and simple fact that it is an absolutely terrifying, hilarious game. But me and Mark we haven't played it for ages, but the time that we were sinking in, and the same with you and me with Enshrouded, was incredible because it gave you
the commitment to,
and it gave you that hint of when you was younger and you were able to play with your mates and just have a fucking laugh.
Looking at the time again, it's 11 o'clock. Are we staying on?
Yeah, we went back to fucking, what was it, like 2-3 in the morning one night? We just stayed up and then straight back on it in the morning at like fucking 9 o'clock.
Yeah, it was a Friday night and we went, are we staying on for a bit? And it was like, and then looked at the time, it's like 3:30 and went, okay.
Yeah, let's crack on. But
let's go to bed for a bit.
So Enshrouded, it's still in early access. Very good game. Haven't played it for a while. I'm kind of waiting for it to come out on full release.
Let it develop itself a little bit more, and then
and because by that point it'll be like a brand new game when you jump in. And Outlast Trials, just because me and Mark had so much fun on that game, and it is such a fun game, but scary at the same time. And the clips that I've got saved, I haven't experienced shit like that.
You're quite funny at horror games, especially co-op horror games.
Yeah, man. Because what else was it? What was that fucking?
We did Escape the Backrooms when you came round to mine.
Yeah, but the one before that, what was the other one? What was it called? Everyone was fucking playing it. I can't remember the fucking name of it.
Fuck yeah. Lethal Company.
Lethal Company. Yeah. Games like I am completely wrapped up in the MMO aspect of where I'm playing the game. I want there to be a durable end game, and I want there to be a goal for me to achieve that is a constant. So once I feel like I'm getting right to the end, they throw something else in that just fucking moves the goalpost. I hate it, but I love it at the same time. And games like Lethal Company and Outlast Trials, Dead by Daylight, games like that, they don't necessarily have that aspect to them. So therefore, most of the times, I don't find them fun, but they're not on your own. But when you're playing with people, they're fucking brilliant. So
some of them you can't, like, there is no end game because you know you're going to fuck, like Lethal Company, you'll know you're going to fuck up before you get too deep, which, for a lot of the other games, like everything else that seems to be popping up is fucking building games.
I'm so sick of fucking
survival builders. Like, what was it, Once Human?
I'm so fucking sick of survival.
I don't mind them, but I'd rather just,
Yeah, but remove the building. I'll tell you what I want. You give me a survival builder, that is absolutely fine. That they have their place, and I can understand. Much like battle royales, where every cunt's trying to fucking make one, I get it. However, what I want is give me the ability to turn off the fucking survival aspect of it in terms of I need to eat food and drink water, otherwise I'm going to die. And then with the building, for fuck's sake, if you want me to put up a shed and a kiln and all of that shit, let me just have a preset.
Yeah.
You must have a house with a bed in it. Okay, but don't make me put up all of the walls and the roof and then place the bed. Just give me a
prefab that I just need
give
to
me a
click
prefab of a house.
Yeah.
Place that house there, much like how No Man's Sky does it when you're making your own camp, like your own settlement, where it's just like it doesn't give you the option on where to place it or anything. It just says you need the materials to make this to increase it. Go and do it. Give me something like that because I don't want to. But then also give me the option to be able to edit those buildings so that if I want to change things, I can.
Yeah.
But for fuck's sake, stop making great games that could be fantastic
great games
and then
that are all builder games. It's like
it just seems soppy. What can we do to make this game attractive? Oh, here's an easy one. Building.
Was it 7 Days to Die went to its full release finally recently?
Yeah.
But that's another one that has building mechanics. It's zombie survival, but then has building mechanics.
I don't want it.
And it's just like, that's kind of the base building aspect is kind of a huge part of it because you're meant to build a base that you can defend.
straight away I've switched off.
Like, it looks good. It looks a lot better because I remember playing it when it was, alphas, betas, whatever, fucking pre-release. Now that they finally made it a full thing, and I'm just like, I don't want to go back to it because I can't be asked. I don't want to do
I'm
base.
bothered with it, but that's where it sort of like worked with you and me on Enshrouded, where
I don't mind.
Yeah.
I come from a Minecraft background as a teen.
Yeah, I'm not interested in the building. So you do the building, I'll go
build
do
stuff,
the.
but I don't mind doing it.
And I come from a grinding background, so I will go and do that, and you fucking build.
Then you come back and go, "What's this mansion?"
What's yours? You said the Formatage.
Oh,
Formatage.
I don't know if that's probably my best single player game so far this year. I was also going to probably dash it slightly into Hidden Gem of this year, but I would probably equally do a little cutesy Hidden Gem was that Big Kitty Little City game.
Oh, was that good? Yeah,
that I quite enjoyed as off the back of like playing something like Untitled Goose Game. And it was like a chill little thing that I could just go home and dick about with, and even Alicia's playing it and she finds it quite cutesy, and it's it was only like got it on sale for like less than £10 or whatever it was, like very, very cheap sort of game that's probably 8 hours sort of playtime.
Yep.
And it was not very it was advertised, but it never really was a big deal, and I can't really think of anything else hugely that's been out. Like Thaumaturge was one of the ones I didn't really know anything about till I saw Steam sales on it, and I thought, oh, that looks all right, and clicked through it and went, oh, it's like combat's turn-based, but then the actual gameplay of it's kind of like Telltale games, where it's like every choice you make matters. Everyone will remember this and all that stuff, and if you pick certain options, you can't follow through with it. And I probably should look who makes it, because it's very similar to a game came out, or not similar, but it's got the same sort of vein as Vampire, if you ever remember that.
Yep.
Came out quite a few years back, and instead of it obviously being a vampire, you're essentially a magician who can essentially read emotions and things like that you can touch objects and you can read information about people from them, and you determine people's secrets and flaws.
Double Dagger Studio is who made Little Kitty Big City, and it is overwhelmingly positive reviews on Steam. 95% overwhelmingly positive. It's currently £20.
That's not so good.
£20 on there. Little Kitty Big City is an adorable, entertaining journey through a delightful world that's just the right size. Almost like, like you say, Untitled Goose Game.
It's got the same sort of vein, but it's a cat, and it's it's new. It's a different sort of style, but it's chaos and just exploration as a cat and doing bits and pieces. It's not necessarily as in depth as like Stray, but
I love Stray,
if
man.
you just want a little chill,
Stray was so good.
Chill game to play, then it was quite pleasant for an easy little thing to do in a few hours, or on a Steam Deck or anything. That's again kind of one of the reasons I picked up Thaumaturge, because I looked at it and thought that might be playable on a Steam Deck.
Not
that I have played it on the Steam Deck yet, because I've managed to put a few hours on it on the PC, but it was more up my street, because I like turn-based combat games, and some that I have to think a little bit about, because then I've got it's peaceful, it's calm, it's not no high stress bollocks going on. And at the same time, it's then got the RPG element of, you build your stats out and you collect salutors, they call them. It basically means it's like a guest or like invader almost. And they're like these weird demon type creatures that you as a Thaumaturge have a connection to, and you can start picking up more and more as your story goes through, and it's you've got the flaw of pride, and you're essentially leaning into that, thinking that you're this very powerful magician, and you're just building up through everything that's going on. And it's in set in 1905 in Warsaw, so you play as Victor Szulski. The only thing I say bad about it is that the voice acting is a bit like, when someone's putting on an accent, like Eastern European accent, and there's a few that are like blatantly American. You think, oh,
Got the American to do the fucking Eastern European
pretty
accent.
much. Like, you know, you're meant to be Polish or Russian, and you've got some American going.
That my hidden gem would be Grand Blue Fantasy Relink.
The old that long title, yeah.
Just a fun game. The fucking with that anime styled artwork, which isn't really something that I go for, but the lovely colours and the fucking the numbers and the killing things.
The things make
and
ADHD feel good.
Yeah, but it was a fun game, and there weren't really much said about it. It was actually Sam that put me onto it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, without that bit, Sam having mentioned it, I don't think any of us would have
No, it's
had
just a fun.
any idea of it.
You got your own fucking team that you get to swap in and out with different characters that all do their own different things, and you just fucking shit up. It's just great fun. The only bit that I didn't like about it was so fucking. Oh, it was so anime. Oh, I hated it.
Just like anime, Japanese anime.
It was just so cringy.
Yeah, weeboo,
it was
proper
so
weeboo.
fucking cringe. Let's go, team. We can do this together. It was like,
yeah.
oh, fuck off.
The
fuck
very
off.
like Asian inspired
Yeah.
dialogue. Yeah.
It's like, oh, fuck you. Like,
Come on, team, let's
like
go.
throwing the peace sign up into the fucking camera after you've just beheaded someone. Like weird shit like
Nice.
that. Yeah, I was like, no, that's not. Like, it's pissing me off. Stop doing that. It's annoying.
Nice cock, bro.
Nice cock. I just don't want any of that. That was it. That was the only bit that fucking made me nearly go like I can't be arsed with this, because it was just every cut scene, like the gameplay and everything was great, very fun, very very fluid. Anyone that's interested by that or wants to have a quick Google, I recommend looking into it, because it is a fun game.
Yeah.
But God, it's almost American. Without digging out Americans, it's too positive. That's the problem. It's too positive. I don't like it. Not everything's positive. We're killing things for very little
There's no,
reason.
like, reality of the situation. It's
Murderers. We're murderers.
Yeah.
Murderers with fucking sparkly swords. There's no need for us to be so positive. I hate it. But other than that, it was right. So there's your fucking hidden gems.
Hidden gem.
Pricks.
He doesn't like it.
Best lead character, I haven't got a clue, you know? I really don't know.
For this year, I can't think of anything. I can't think of a heavily, dedicated lead character in any of the games that come out this year.
I'd probably again throw another spin on it of best lead character. Around orangutan.
You're gonna throw back to the old remaster, Last of Us remaster.
Nah, I ain't going back to the remaster. I was gonna
because she's so great.
I was gonna say something like Helldivers 2.
It's me because I'm the lead character.
Yeah, because Helldivers 2 there is no lead character. It puts you in that position which is very alien to most gamers, in that the person that you are playing is nothing. They're a pawn.
You're expendable. You're meat for the grinder.
You are just part of an army, and you're on the front lines. And it took a while for people to realise that the character that you're actually playing, every time they die, they die.
You're not you.
Yeah, I know that
you're just a faceless.
I know that you're coming back in the same gear and everything, but look past that. The person that you're coming back as isn't your character.
Isn't you? Yeah.
They are a different person, and I find that
you are a drone in the system.
I find that interesting in terms of like lead character, because it is you, and when you really get into the role play of it, which so many people did, absolutely fantastic.
Well, we saw a few at Comic-Con, didn't we? Dressed up as Helldivers. Yeah. It is its own little like.
Or just seeing the clips of people like becoming the best voice actors in the world because their character's gonna die and shit. Like that. And it means nothing, because you do just respawn, but it's not called respawning.
No, it's reinforcements.
Reinforcements, and it's just seeing people evolve into these amazing actors. Because they've suddenly fucking
commitment to the bit.
Yeah, they got an attachment to their character, and if it dies, it's like, no, you're gonna fucking die.
Yeah,
like I like that shit. And and Helldivers 2 definitely made everyone do that. But I can only speak so much on that sort of category of best lead because I just haven't played that much this year.
I can't think of a lot that's come out this year that's been dedicated to having like individual lead characters. Like I'd say, playing Thaumaturge, I'd look at the character and go, nah, he's pretty throwaway. Like generic white male with, powers.
Superpowers.
You're like, he's got personality, he's got backstory and trauma and everything, but it ultimately hits that, generic white male in media, dark background and all that bollocks. That it's not, it's not like, I don't know, Arthur Morgan from Red Dead 2 was a good character with, fleshed out or obviously Ash.
Joel and Ellie
and like Geralt, or, you look back to older games that have been out. I'm trying to think of a few.
Snake
and like even like Commander Shepard or from Mass Effect, or
Desmond Miles,
Master Chief from like Halo, Desmond Miles.
There's loads. The list is absolutely endless of characters.
There's so many, but again,
leads.
This year so far, I don't feel like there's, maybe when AC Shadows comes out, that they might be interesting lead characters, but I know it's meant to be like the duo rather than
Yasuki and Naoe.
That is that going to be one of them's going to be better than the other? Because even like in the last couple of Assassin's Creed games where they say like, pick between Cassandra or Alexios or pick the gender of Eivor, like even though I wouldn't say they're fantastic lead characters.
No, agreed. I mean, Assassin's Creed Mirage was fucking Basim wasn't a bad lead character
was that this
in
year?
it. Basim, yeah.
Was it?
Yeah.
No,
You fucking non-believer. Don't believe me.
No, I believe you. I didn't play it and it didn't really appeal to me.
It didn't appeal to many people because it was shit.
It just it came and went like a lot of games that just come and go. And it's like, oh, there was an Assassin's Creed release this year and there's going to be another one.
Much like with best lead character, best antagonist, I ain't got a fucking clue.
Yeah, I haven't got the Scooby about who's...
Best antagonist. Fucking hell.
I can't even think, like, even... Who's
best antagonist?
Who would be a best antagonist in any game currently or in recent time? I can't even think, because either like, is that a collective group? Because it's like going back to like Mass Effect, you could turn around and say the Reapers or the Elusive Man. They're antagonists, but are they the best? They're definitely up there.
Yeah,
because I don't feel like I've known in a long time. Maybe say technically, Abby is an antagonist, but also a lead.
Yeah, because she's an antagonist for the first half, and then it changes.
But then even in games like that, like the original Last of Us, was there a true antagonist? I know there was like that David guy who like
not really
tries to get hold of Ellie and whatnot. And it's good emphasis on an evil character, but sometimes antagonists in games are very sort of quite two-dimensional. That they're the big bad and they're meant to be expendable.
They're there to serve a purpose.
They're there to serve a purpose. They're not there like, I'm trying to think of someone.
I think
almost like Hatham from AC3.
Yeah,
where technically he's a good guy. Well, he's a lead and then he turns into a villain, and then you see both sides of it, because I feel like the best thing for antagonists is seeing the reality of their decisions and understanding why they're a villain. Maybe for other games like Dutch.
Far Cry 5.
Which one was 5?
The one with, I had to Google it, Joseph Seed. That was the one where...
Was that the American one?
The American one in like...
I feel like Far Cry does it. I feel like Far Cry does villains well, to be fair.
Far Cry does do villains very well.
3...
Joseph Seed was like the crazy preacher man that fucking wanted everyone to go to Rapture.
Yeah, because then you had the guy, the one that Troy Baker voiced, the one that was in like Asia, I feel like he was a decent villain.
Yeah.
I didn't play the game, but I feel like he was a decent villain. And then the one before that was on the island, like with the Hispanic or whichever it was. I forget his name, but he was a good villain. But then the game got a bit weird at that point anyway.
Far Cry 5 was... Oh, that was so good.
But then maybe you could say also like God of War Ragnarok. But again, it's not this year, so like Odin and Thor. But again, I'm still waiting for that game to come out on PC so I can bloody play it.
Yeah, but even then, you query on Thor. Odin, yes.
It's hard to say. I feel like certain game media on villains is a lot more difficult than sort of films and movies, because if you want to talk about a good antagonist, you'd go like Negan from Walking Dead.
100%, but even then, he turned antagonist into fucking...
Yeah, then he's
good character.
Yeah, so...
Can you think of someone who's actually just a genuinely good antagonist and stays the Joker?
Yeah.
He's a very good antagonist, done very well. But someone that is just straight up a dick, but a very good dick. The best dick.
The best dick. Oh.
Big, tasty, slender dick. Who's
save that for the patron.
Who's taking that old fucking big wamba?
Mambo number 5.
There's
Yeah, it's hard to say especially for this year as well, because I can't feel like there's that many games that have come out with good villains.
I think the best antagonist has got to be someone who makes you genuinely hate them as well.
Yeah.
Not like how Ash would be like, I love them because he wants to be the bad guy and fucking everything. We'd go, no, they're my hero. No, someone where they genuinely make you seethe at the telly or the PC or whatever.
Again, like when...
Like, I fucking hate you.
Yeah, like what they do with... That's what I kind of went with when they did Abby. Because in those moments you're like, I fucking hate this person because of what they've done. And then...
Yeah,
and then it flipped.
Okay.
Like, if you didn't switch to her perspective...
You'd always hate her.
You would always hate her.
Okay, so she's the best antagonist then. Or, no, Naughty Dog are the best antagonists there because they made us hate her for no reason. There was no need for us to hate her. It was Ellie all along.
Joel's the best antagonist.
Joel. The best. He's dead antagonist.
He's a villain. Spoilers.
Technically is, to be fair.
Ages, so.
What else have we got? What was the fucking...
But I can't think for this year so far of what's come out. I can't feel of anything that's a decent antagonist.
Best performance and quality is Elden Ring, hands down. Shadow of the Erd Tree.
They spent long enough making it.
Yeah, hands down.
It's going to go for the best combat and gameplay as well, because
there's nothing.
I say combat. The Dragon's Dogma did combat good, but the climbing and scaling and jumping around and the team cohesion thing where like all your pawns can do different things was very good, but you're probably on par with Elden Ring has got the secret sauce in terms of fucking...
Elden Ring is a absolute powerhouse in any category, or like that.
Soulsborne, FromSoft have got that special sauce in terms of that.
It's the hitboxes, man.
You're right, you're tired, mate. Your eyes are watering.
I just had a little yawn. Crying.
Yeah, you're looking at me and you're crying.
I just want to get this shit over. They're
all right, fucking.
Their gameplay and combat mechanics and the very unique ways that you can engage in the game are what make it fantastic.
Yeah.
The only bit that I don't massively like about it is that you don't necessarily have the freedom to just chop and change. You do have to think about what you're doing. I mean, you can change your point system around and redelegate everything, but only a limited number of times. You can't keep doing it, which I find somewhat annoying, because I suppose your answer for that is to just max yourself out, and then you can just level everything up, and then you can use whatever you want, but then that just takes all of the fun out of the game.
That's what I mean. It's just long. It's just a grind for something that to then realise, I'm bored now.
I can't be arsed.
I suppose that Dragon's Dogma did do that well, because you could chop and you could be whatever vocations class you wanted to be. But the only problem is you had to level them up. So if you were if you were a really good fighter and then you want all of a sudden want to be the wizard or the sword, whatever it is, like you had to level that up. So if you were in a tough area, you were just going to get stomped.
Yeah.
But ultimately, you had that freedom to chop and change. So that's I appreciate when games allow that you can go, oh, well, you can respec for free, or if you don't like it, just tab out of, take your points out of it and respec them. I forget what game it was recently that I was playing, or what, recent release that. Was it Enshrouded? Yeah, Enshrouded allowed you to go back. I think that was literally what I was thinking of. Enshrouded allowed you to go back, and if you didn't like your layout of your skill tree, you could go back for very minimal and reset it.
I think you had to pay something towards it, but you could do it as many times as you wanted. Yeah. It wasn't an issue.
It offers up the freedom of choice in playthroughs that means you're not fucking locked in and don't need to start a new one or load an old save, which works well for people who don't have a lot of time to focus on video games.
Yeah.
I don't want to have to go back and scrap my level 60, 70 fucking character to then start fresh because I fucked up the build.
I've had it before in Elden Ring where I decided to change to a faith and dex build, and I just didn't like it.
Yeah,
I did not like it. So I was like, well, I've put in all the effort to change everything and then change the weapons and blah 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 blah, and now I don't like it because I liked what I liked before, so now I've got to fucking change it all back to what it used to be and fucking swap it. So it's too much of a cost, it's too much aggro to do that.
Yeah,
but yeah, that Elden Ring takes the old slice of cake or that fucking hell.
It's gonna be. I feel like it's gonna. Unless something comes and blows it out of the water, I know it can't necessarily get Game of the Year, but it probably could get Game of the Year under Shadow of the Erdtree specific. I don't know.
Can I do?
That's what I mean. I don't know if they can. But I feel like it would be an easy one to say, well, yeah, it's probably going to be that.
Can a DLC, there we go, win Game of the Year? Let's have a look. Oh, the Elden Ring subreddit, yeah.
Of course.
Could even be nominated for Game. Yes, and I believe Shadow of the Erdtree will win it this year. I'm so hyped. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth will win, and well deserved. Let's see. Yeah. Yes, they can. According to the Game Awards FAQ page, the Game Awards recognises that many games are ongoing services that evolve over time with new content, features, and improvements. Games released in previous years are eligible in all award categories, so long as the jury feels their inclusion is merited due to new content, improvements, or service updates. In addition, the Best Ongoing Game category specifically recognises titles that continue to provide value to customers. Best Ongoing Game is No Man's Sky, hands down. Is the best ongoing game.
Considering they haven't stopped since they released it.
Haven't stopped, and every single update they've done has been free. However, I do believe that if Elden Ring Shadow of the Erdtree is nominated for Game of the Year, that it will win Game of the Year. Much like it did fucking last time it was nominated, because I don't
feel this year's loadout so far has been enough to top the fact
I don't physically see
that came out.
How you can play that DLC and then play anything else and then think that anything else is going to beat it.
I'm just flicking through now and I'm going back through even games that have come out so far that I'm looking through and going, there's nothing on here that can stand up to it, and there's an assortment on here. Even am I in May now? I'm back in June. Oh, I just lost it. Destiny 2, Final Shape, Star Wars Hunters, but that's again a mobile game. Crab God, Elden Ring, Shadow of the Erdtree, June, July, Final Fantasy, blah blah blah. Even then, Once Human, that wasn't.
Oh, yeah, but that's not gonna fucking.
That wasn't enough. And then some of it's weird because some of the list is games that have already been out and they're releasing on certain platforms. Like it's just said here, Darkest Dungeon 2, PS5, PS4, Switch.
I don't know if that counts though. If it's just being released on.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Where it gets a little bit awkward. Star Wars Bounty Hunter, today.
Star Wars Outlaws, but then it's
But that's
received a lot of fucking bad criticism from its latest like gameplay and shit, where it just doesn't look what was promised. Which Ubisoft, that's unlike Ubisoft to do that.
Back at it again. August 30th, Star Wars Outlaws currently, apparently.
Yeah, it was close.
I'm not even that interested.
Not really.
Like, I do like Star Wars, and I very much enjoyed the Cal Kestis saga so far. Fallen Order.
Yeah.
Yeah, and whatever it is. Jedi Survivor.
Yeah.
Enjoyed them, but I haven't followed Outlaws at all, and it's not because it's a woman, but just because, it's not really appealed.
Yeah, if
I probably will still play it,
if
but
it doesn't interest you,
there's other things that I've know.
I'd wonder if it would be day one on Game Pass, because then you just fucking buy Game Pass and then play that.
Yeah, probably.
Make life a lot easier.
September, Space Marine 2. Yes, please.
No knowledge on Space Marine.
It's co-op.
Oh, is it?
It has a co-op function.
Isn't it? It's quite gory, isn't it?
Yes.
I think I saw the trailer for it.
Essentially, they released Space Marine 1 was what I played across when I was on holiday.
Is that your most anticipated?
I feel like for the rest of this year, it probably is my most anticipated. Because
when's that come out?
September 9th.
September 9th.
Basically, you go around being a big, superpowered human. You don't have, like, superpowers in terms of you can shoot fucking lightning out your bollocks, but you're...
the best superpower ever, lightning out my nutsack.
But you're transhuman, so you've been genetically modified to be faster, stronger, fucking more durable, and you're just a super soldier, and you go around killing the Emperor's enemies. And this time it's a big Xenos invasion by the Tyranids, who are basically like a bug insectoid swarmage. The last game, basically, you were Captain Titus of the Ultramarines, the blue ones, then the big blueberry Smurfs, and you were fighting orcs on whatever planet, and then it turns out there was a Chaos invasion. Then you're fighting Chaos Space Marines, which are basically the inverse of you, but they've got like fuckery going on, like mystic mind powers and fucking whatever.
Mystic Megs have come down and get fucked up.
Yeah, and there was a big Chaos plotline, so I don't know what the follow-up in this one's going to be. But there was co-op in the last game, and there's going to be co-op in this game, both as a Onslaught style one, I think, which is 1 to 3 player co-op campaign, but also a 6v6.
This isn't a trailer for one of the weapons.
Yeah, so there should be... Yeah, they're doing customization as well, so you can make your little man. And I imagine they'll do, like, loyalists versus traitors, so they'll do chaos versus non-chaos. So you'll be able to do customization for each. They'll probably have different special loadouts and everything. But
looks very gory, shoot lots of stuff and kill things.
Basically
just looks like Left 4 Dead type shit.
Sort of. I feel like the first game didn't necessarily play like Left 4 Dead, but I imagine that the co-op will probably play fairly similar to something Left 4 Dead-y. It's basically just horde onslaught.
Yeah.
Where you've got objectives. You've probably got objectives and mission-based, like things you need to do, but it'll be... This is massive speculation because I'm loosey-goosey following it, but I know I'm going to play it. Because there's no point in me being like, I'm going to
I probably will then if you're playing it.
Every trailer and everything.
Give it a go.
But we can probably get a few people because I imagine my pal's going to want to or might play it.
Sam, if you're wondering why we're not talking about the best console, it's because I can't be asked. Simple as that. I can't bother.
The best console.
It's going to be Steam Deck.
Fucking knows?
It'll just be
PC.
Steam.
Fucking.
Yeah, no, but it would be Steam Deck for it. But I can't be bothered to talk about it again for the fucking 20th episode. I can't be asked.
PlayStation has the best exclusives. Xbox is Xbox and has loads of games on it. PC's the best, but it's not a console.
Yeah.
And then Steam Deck's the middle ground, but fucking battery shit. So.
Yeah. And then you got Switch somewhere.
And Switch is
has its own thing.
It's its own little niche with cutesy games and fucking Zelda. So if that sums it up, and then if you're playing on anything else, what the fuck?
Yeah, what else would you be playing on? I don't know what else would you be playing on. Your
Grow
phone?
up and fucking
Your mobile phone.
Your fucking mobile
The
gamers.
Switch doesn't just do cutesy games, but I know.
No, I
what
know
you mean. It's definitely got the.
Now it's improved because they're actually putting games on it. Whereas before,
they just run at 10 frames per
whereas
second.
before it was all a very specific Nintendo game. So you had like Animal Crossing and fucking all that. You know,
bollocks.
I'm not.
Is what you want to say?
Yeah,
that's what you want to say. Is bollocks. That's what you want. That's what you want. No, I know what you mean.
That's the thing. A lot of my friends got Switches at one point or another. I didn't have anything that I wanted to play on it, so that was that. It has its niche.
Pokemon
it's not for me.
Pokemon was my go-to for ever wanting a Switch, was to just be able to play Pokemon on it.
Here you go. Here's the big one for November, and it's not Assassin's Creed Shadow. Farming Sim 25.
Oh, God. Squirrel with a gun.
Let's go.
Is around there as well.
And that's it. There's literally
fantastic.
everything else that's coming out, apart from Mario and Luigi Brothership on Switch, November 7th.
I with the Mario franchise, and I perfectly understand why everyone loves Mario.
Oh, there is maybe one more.
I couldn't give a fuck about the Mario universe. I don't care. It doesn't. I don't.
The Mario extended
like
universe. Yeah.
I'm just not interested in it whatsoever.
No,
as a kid, I very much was. I didn't grow out of it, but just my interest in Mario, fucking Yoshi, Donkey Kong, it all dissipated.
I wasn't a Nintendo kid growing up, so that's that for me.
Oh, what were you then?
I just didn't. I basically a lot of the stuff
Rocks
I had,
and sticks outside with a fucking lighter.
Well, I had a Sega and then hand me down PlayStation 1, and then that was pretty much.
That was off you went.
PlayStation 1, 2, and
you
like
didn't
3 and Xbox.
Have a DS or anything?
I think I did. I have someone give me one, and then didn't have a lot on it, and then so I didn't play it a lot. Never really had Pokemon. The only times I played Pokemon was like my sister's boyfriend at the time.
Pokemon was so good.
And then he took it back off me like after he let me play the fucking starter zone. He was like, "Oh yeah, all right."
I'll have that now, thanks.
It's pretty much.
See you later.
You got games on your phone.
You got games, sir?
Yeah, the only other option which I only found about recently is Stalker 2, Heart of Chernobyl.
That rings a bell.
So
I think I've seen
Stalker
on that.
came out however fucking long ago. Essentially is a follow-up of what happened in Chernobyl and the reactor meltdown, and then it's basically the post-apocalyptic radiation nonsense. And you go, I don't really. Everyone rants and raves about it, and it's like the proto Metro games, like the ones that were available before, or the one that set the tone for that sort of like Russian-esque inspired.
Oh yeah, I'm looking at it now. Yeah,
but there's a new one coming out apparently that I saw a thing about, and I'm interested because
an upcoming first-person shooter survival horror video game developed and published by Ukrainian game developer GSC, GSC Game World. It will be the fourth game released in the Stalker video game series, as well as the first Stalker. Blah 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 blah. Will Stalker 2 ever come out? Available November 20th.
But yeah, if it plays anything like the Metro games, which I massively enjoyed, that I'll be up for it. So. If you let me shoot mutants and fucking irradiated people with an AK, then yeah, I'm up for it.
Then I want it, Final one.
No building mechanics.
No building, thank fuck. Final one, most anticipated for the second half of 2024.
I think I've covered that. What are you looking for?
The War Within, hands down. The next DLC, the next expansion for World of Warcraft. And it is Chris Metzen's... It's the Chris Metzen expansion. Who is the lore father of World of Warcraft, who left for a period, and that's when everything went to shit, and now he's come back, and that is where you have the World Saga, the World Soul Saga, where they, at BlizzCon or whatever, they announced like the next 4 expansions, which they've never done, and they're running with the idea that they will be a little bit shorter but release quicker. So... yeah, the first edition of that is The War Within. And it just looks very fucking good, man. Dragonflight was sick. Definitely had a resurgence in WoW because of that. They're doing so much with the game with classic Seasons of Discovery. There's talks of Classic Plus coming about and all this testing bollocks. So they're actively trying to pull more people in by doing new and unique things. And then just with the war within, the shit that they're doing for new and returning players is so much better than what they've done previously, and the way that they're making the game is just so much more fun and enjoyable for people that don't have hours and hours and hours to play it. Yeah, and it's a nice reset from what they're doing, because they're coming away from Dragonflight. It's the beginning of a new story almost, but at the same time it's harping on from old shit that's happened that even I fucking missed out on because I weren't playing at the time.
Is it enough to bring me back?
Well, World of Warcraft is actually completely free, all of it, including all the expansions, until the 4th of August. So you've got 2 days. Completely
Well, I think
free.
I've already got all that bollocks anyway.
Yeah, probably.
So it doesn't help me. But for anyone else who wants to come play with Reese and have him scream at you,
no point. Fucking right towards the end of the expansion with the new one coming out in a fucking month, there's absolutely no point in trying to jump in. Or there is, but I don't know, to be fair, maybe, because at least that way in terms of dungeons and raids and things like that, they're all completely brand new. So you could almost jump back in, catch up, get your bearings, sort of figure out what's going on, and then the next expansion comes out, and then you can play that, and then you know what's going on straight away with that expansion. There's still lore involved there that you won't fucking understand in terms of story. However, the zones and everything else, the crafting systems and all of that shit would all be brand new to everyone. I suppose I take that back. It probably is a good time to jump in now, because everything you're doing right now doesn't fucking matter. So you don't need to be overwhelmed, because it literally doesn't matter. It's not like when we first played it and I said none of the old DLCs like expansions matter, and you just got to get to the end one.
Dragonflight.
Well, now the end one's fucking over. It really doesn't matter. They've made it a lot quicker to level up. And I feel like it would just give you time to really figure out what is going on and then not get overwhelmed, because like I say, if I throw this currency at you, this fucking mechanic, this thing and that thing, it doesn't...
I wasn't so fussed about that. It's more like, I don't want to go into raids and shit.
And we just did it the wrong way.
This guy's fucking shit. He doesn't know what he's doing. It's like, I don't know what I'm doing.
We did it the wrong way. We rushed it too much.
I'm being fucking bum rushed through here, boys. I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah, we did it far too quick. I have since learned to honour a different way of leveling up, and that is just through leveling up through different zones rather than just spamming dungeons, because you learn your class so much better. And you get to actually enjoy a lot of the zones, which is what I'm currently doing. And I feel like if you were to come back, that's exactly what we would do. We would make different characters. I wouldn't recommend that you make a tank class either, because of just how much responsibility there is involved on that. Same with a healer. Be a fucking DPS and then just roll through. But now would probably be a decent time to jump back in, just because of that reason, that it's not so overwhelming. But that is the thing that I'm anticipating, because...
Look, he won't stop fucking talking about it. He's so excited.
I'm just ready for it.
He's ready for it.
I'm just ready for it, because also the guild comes back, because everyone's on hiatus.
Everyone's doing other things.
Yeah, because they don't need to be playing, because there's
They already finished all the content in 1 month.
Yeah, there's no goal to achieve here. No one's interested. I mean, unless you're like proper hardcore for it, no one's wanting it. So now is just alt testing. Let me make a character I've never played before. It doesn't matter, and that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm just trying to find what I want to main for this expansion. And that's that.
That's that. Biggest letdown for you so far this year.
Oh shit, yeah.
On an end note, because mine was probably Dragon's Dogma. I enjoyed it, but it took a lot of effort for me to get out of that like initial fucking walk-in sim stage where...
Biggest letdown.
And then obviously I was like, I realise now that I'm hitting endgame and I need a lot more shit, and I can't be asked. And I haven't gone back since. And I've since bought a lot of older games on Steam sale and wanted to play them instead.
I really don't know what the biggest letdown is. I really don't know. The Last of Us Part 2 remastered because it just wasn't
Because
required.
they're just taking the
It
piss.
wasn't needed. It's just a fucking money grab that was pointless. What a fucking waste of time. There was absolutely no need for that ever. There you go. There's your biggest
There you go.
fucking shitter.
There's your biggest shitter.
Right.
Well, thanks, Sam, for the suggestions.
Thank you. It was very good, mate. You got a whole episode out of it. Love that.
Dedicated to you, big boy.
Thanks. See you later. Uru.
Uru.